If you had to rank the top 3 high school football programs in South Florida based on talent and consistency, who would they be?
Well, I'm going to be biased for one.
Welcome back to Behind the Game with Terry. I'm Terry, and this is
Coach Chop.
And his name is also Michael Bryant. Remember that. So, all right, let's begin. What inspired you to become a football coach, and how did your journey begin?
Well, my journey began when I graduated from my senior pace at 2010. I didn't have no direction what I was going to do. I started coaching at the Little Leagues at Miami Gardens Vikings, formerly known, used to be called Scott Lake.
Mm-hmm.
I started there as soon as I graduated from high school. Then after 1 year, I went to coach high school.
So, since you said that you didn't know where your route was when it came to high school, and you just went straight into coaching at Little League, did you ever consider college a route?
It's always been a thought, you
Mhm.
know, that after having conversations with college coaches and seeing the lifestyle it has been, there's times I want to do it. There's times where I don't, because once I learn and figure out how the college lifestyle as a coach is, it's a 24-hour nonstop.
Yeah.
I'm still in between, but I'm going to stay with the high school.
Yeah, got you. You work with various programs like Miramar Football, Miramar Girls Flag Football, Miami Carroll City, and Miami Beach Girls Flag. How do you adapt your coaching style to different teams and levels and genders?
Well, let me start with the boys. With as far as Carroll City and Miramar, it's no different in a way, because it's majority of the kids is black. You know, very rare you have Hispanics or any other races on the race of the kids that's in your program. So the adapt is different. It's just the hunger of it. Where in Carroll City, I could sit here and say certain kids, that was the only way to get out with majority of the team. In Myanmar, it's more, you still have those certain kids that's another way to go to college, but you still have those few that's their only ticket. And I tried my best while I was at both schools to teach them, hey, graduate. Yeah, going to college to a D1 school is awesome. It's great. It's a plus. But I'd rather for you to graduate, have that diploma in your hand when you walk on that stage. That would make me proud as a coach. Right. And make you better as a young man. And as far as girls, oh man. Oh man. So many people told me it's a different animal. You gotta channel emotions. Yes. Deal with a lot of different things. Yes. But then there's some other coaches I talked to that sat there and say, hey, still treat them like the boys. Still, no matter what. And I had to find that balance. Yeah. Because in the back of my mind, I know I can't talk to them like the boys. But I had to be firm with them and be black and white with them. Definitely. Because I feel like with girls, we can handle like the hard talks and the hard conversations, but like y'all, when you take it to boys tackle, y'all, it's a different level of talk. Yes, versus, it's a different level. Yeah. Right now, like I just got done having practice with my girls, and a few of them see me coach the boys at Miramar. Right. They are at times very fear of how I might go get on them. Yeah. And I explained to them, hey, I'm not going to talk to y'all like I do with the boys. I will never do that. But I will be on y'all. And that's where they have an understanding with that. Yeah. And I think it's going well so far. So now, as a state champion coach with the Miami Carroll City Chiefs, what was the most memorable moment from that season? Honestly, the coaches and the players came together as one. We was a family. That was the one thing I could sit there and say in the beginning. You know, half of the staff and a quarter of a team came from Miramar. Half of the coaching staff came from Miramar. Yeah. It was a little rocky at first, you know. And then once the season kept going and going, you could start seeing the family was together. Yeah. God bless the dead. Aubrey Hill, who was the head coach at the time in 2016 season, he always preached about family, hard work, and that's the one thing I can sit there and say, help all of us, not as players, but as coaches, become not only better players and coaches, but better young men and men. That's good.
And how did that championship experience shape you as a coach?
Honestly, it made me look at it more of a mental standpoint, where I already had confidence in myself that I could, any kid you bring to me, I'm going to coach them.
Period.
I'm going to teach them the game of football, especially the position that I know.
Right.
And with them, it's morally mental.
So flag football is growing in popularity, especially among women. What is like coaching the Miami Beach girls flag team? And now that you're the head coach of Miramar flag football team, how does it feel? And what is it like?
Well, let me start with the first part of that question. Honestly, like I said before earlier, it was different. But I told the girls when I first got at Miami Beach, I'm going to hold y'all accountable the same way like I do with the boys. I'm not going to get on y'all like them, but my level of expectations is up. It's very to the top. Yeah. And then after my 2 years at Miami Beach, went to Miramar. It was at a soft approach, trying to get familiar with the girls. Yeah. Then once they get familiar with me, it's the same thing. I'm gonna get on you and I'm hold you to a high standard. And the funny thing, the girls at Miramar, they already heard of me. because once my football players had found out, Coach Shop is coaching with the girls, they had told me left and right, hey, Coach Chop is crazy. He's going to get on you.
A fair warning for everybody.
A very much fair warning. So, and I told them, I'm that coach, but I'm not going to treat y'all the same way I do with them.
Right.
They different.
What do you believe makes a great coach?
Honestly, being firm of what you believe in, teaching, and knowing your players.
Definitely.
Not players, knowing your kids. Knowing your kids, and you like another parent to them. Yeah. You're another extended parent. Because there's sometimes parents might need a little help. They're going to need help. That's regardless. Yeah. And then you got to make sure not only they're doing good in the school, but making sure they do good on the field.
Last question before we do Terry's Red Zone. With the rise of flag football and other adaptations, how do you see the future of the sport evolving?
Oh, man, it's I don't think a lot of people not understanding how fast this flag football, especially for girls, is rising. Yeah. It's gonna be major. At first you had NAIA colleges just only have flag football. Major D1 schools have them, but they consider as a club. Yeah. But it was just, I find out, I want to say back February, between February and the summer, that Alabama State had switched it from club to a sport. So they're as far as I know right now, it's the only D1 school that's considered flag as a sport. So that's major. And for them to be an HBCU school at that, to consider that to treat it like a sport is amazing. It's just more opportunities for girls to get noticed. Yeah, definitely. It's growing and it's evolving, and a good thing too. All right, time for my favorite part. It's called Terry's Red Zone. So I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to tell me your answer. We're going to try to do this fast because I'm scared for my camera. Alrighty. If you had to rank the top 3 high school football programs in South Florida based on talent and consistency, who would they be? Well, I'm going to be biased for one is Miramar, because it's more than just talent. It's about, can you coach the kids up? And I'll be honest, and I'm going to say this. I have confidence that we could out coach any school, not only just in the state of Florida, but in the country. Okay. Number 2 is St. Thomas, and the record show. They are multiple state champions. They just won state championship. Yep. And I got to give a lot of respect, even though they are rivals. Okay. Oh man, the third one. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm gonna split it between Northwestern and Central. That's my. Be honest with you. They have rich history. They win big games. Both of them multiple state champions, and they always have talent coming from their backyard. No matter where they find them from in their backyard, they be there. They be right there. And your coaching experience, which South Florida team has been the toughest to prepare for? Oh man, the toughest team, St. Thomas. Be honest with you. Yeah. They are the big dogs. They are the big dogs of Broward.
I feel like they're the big dogs of South Florida, period.
Yes and no, honestly. To me, I have different teams to think that, but that they are the toughest team to come that I had to coach up against.
Yeah,
and they respect us just as like we respect them. But it's still a rivalry, no matter what people say or how they feel.
Okay. Which high school has the most passionate fan base that you experienced during your career?
Miami Northwest. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's no other school. And to be completely honest, it is them. They no matter where they go, no matter how good or bad season they have, they will pack a house. You know, they remind me of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, no comparison. No offense to you, y'all.
I mean, I'm just being completely honest.
I feel like Miami Northwestern is very much of a household name, especially in South Florida football. If you don't know the West, then you've been sleeping under a rock. Or
you haven't been living in Florida.
Right. But Bull Pride, Bulls for life. And what do you think sets South Florida high school football apart from the rest of the country?
It's different. You know, and you hear that from everybody that asks about football in Florida. But in South Florida, it's very different. It's the grit that each kid has, that swag, that mindset of, I'm going to beat you no matter what we do. Yeah. We could sit there and play checkers. I will beat you in it. And no matter who comes knocking on our doorstep or we come knocking on their doorstep, we have in our mind we're going to beat them, and we're going to beat them with style. You would like to give a shout out to anybody? Special shout out to Damian Cardell. That he's an athletic director at the University of Fort Lauderdale Eagles. He's the first person that let me get a start on high school. As I told anybody that ever asked me, if it wasn't for him, I don't know what I'll be doing in high school. Another shout out to AJ Scott, head coach of Miramar football. When Coach Cardell was a head coach at Miramar, when he stepped away, and a couple of years after Coach AJ became the head coach, he helped me guide the way to become not only a better coach and as a better man. I thank him forever for that. I do consider him as a big brother to me. And one more shout out I'll give out. Well, two more really. Dyron Benjamin, who was the flag football coach for Miramar for numbers of years. He took me under his wing for the flag last year, showing me the ropes, more ropes of flag. He is also my big brother. And then one more is Aaron Harris, who will be a part of his team for Junior Dolphins. All those three guys that I will forever be grateful for. And that's how you end Behind the Game with Terri. Thank you guys so much for watching Behind the Game with Terri. I'm Terri, your host, and this is Coach Shop. And make sure you tune into the next episode. Bye-bye.